10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome once again to the NRL Dreamteam podcast. It's been a massive week in the world of Dreamteam with another 1,000 score busted out for the weekly prize winner. Stack of people in the 900s and in the high 900s. I know in one of my leagues I saw a 986. Banksy, I'm pretty sure you would have seen a few up around there as well, mate.
I saw 964 as my high score, I think.
Mate, see, that's absolutely huge. So, been a phenomenal week for Dream Team. This Dream Team coach pumped out a 946 career best and jumped up to 108th in the rankings. Gloating on that because, let's face it, I'm a co-host of the show and I do all the recording, so who's going to stop me? Mad props out to Mark from Mentors as well. He's up to 3rd overall. And look, there's a stack of people all in that top 100, top 50, and in the top 1,000 as well, people achieving career best this week. So well done, mad props to you all. And I'm Jay. This is Banksy. Welcome to the Dream Team podcast. Banksy, great to have you back.
Thank you very much. And if you're just talking about players that are very good from mentors, I just want to mention Glenn, owner of Crazy Joe Delavias, a former #1 overall ranked player back in 2011 and a potential guest on the show. We are probably going to try to work into the show in the next few weeks.
Nice.
He's up to 6th.
Definitely hit him up, mate. All right, he's up to 6th place. Well done, Glenn. That's sensational, mate. Mad props there. Now, I reckon we put him in a headlock and drag him in, mate. Get the headset on him and ear bash him a little bit.
I think we should.
Yeah.
It could be good fun.
He's definitely somebody we want to have in, purely just for you and I to pick his brains and see if we can do something that improves our situation. Forget about the listeners for a moment. I mean, look, they get to listen to us. What more do they need? But we're the ones who need the help.
We need big help. I'm 434 for God's sake. He's 6th. He's heaps of points ahead of me. Let's have a quick check on that. He's over 250 points ahead of me.
Yeah.
I need those 250 points.
You're gonna absolutely have to catch him up in those buy rounds. But just interestingly for everybody else, look, the top 10, they are starting to really pull away. I'm in at 108th and first position is about 280 points ahead of me or thereabouts. And the point I want to make, though...
They are 301.
301,
Sorry.
There you go. Thanks, Banksy. Look, they're 301 points ahead of me, and I pegged back some points this week. But, Banksy, you're at, what was it,
34.
434th. I'm at 108th. So, you know, what's that? That's 326 places difference. And you're only 94 points behind me overall. Is that correct?
Yep. Yes, that is correct. That's 1 week.
Well, that's one more week of Jamal Idris going up against Jerome. I'm a bitch for a party.
He's not playing this week for a party.
Well,
he's injured.
Damn. There you go. Well, I mean, Jamal's not playing against the Warriors anyway, so you know, hope for a 94.
But Barber is.
Well, that's it. Oh God, there's 194. But that's the point, people. The whole idea of that little spiel there was that there's 94 points that separate 326 places. So you're only a good week away from a massive jump up in the rankings. It's definitely not time to lose hope yet. And those buy rounds are going to be huge for pegging back on the leaders, particularly those top 10 who are just doing a phenomenal job at the moment. So mad props go out to all of them. Let's get on with the show, Banksy. We're going to sort of combine a few things all into one here and hopefully get in and out before somebody can cook dinner, have a cup of tea, fall asleep and wake up the next morning and realise we're still yammering on.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that this week.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. So we're going to jam in team lists. We're going to jam in a little bit of Eliminator talk, and we're going to have a look at some of those early mid-season cash cows and the cash-out options as we're going through the team list. There are a couple named this week, and offer our opinions on those. First caps off the rank as we go to our team list. Rabbitohs versus Cowboys. Rabbitohs are copy-paste from last week, same 19 that have just been dropped in there by Mr. Michael Maguire. Anything from the Rabbitohs that's jumping out at you, Banksy?
Not really. It's just like if you got your players from the Rabbitohs, you hold them a few more weeks, and you probably keep them for the first couple of buys, unless your name's Greg Inglis, then you drop him because he misses 3 games over 4 weeks, over around 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, fair call. And good old GI pumped out, I believe it was a 64 this week, so nobody's going to be looking forward to dropping him over the buys, that's for sure. All right, moving along to... Sorry, Banksy, I cut you off there, mate.
I was going to say that I'm definitely looking forward to dropping him over the buys. His money could be very well used elsewhere to make that money back.
Fair call. A little bit of an investor here, mate. That's the math coming out in you, isn't it?
Well, I've got 160 odd K got to make back on you in team value. I've got to get that back too.
Yeah, we were comparing team value just before going to air this evening, and I've managed to convince Banksy that in Dream Team, much like in the bedroom, size does count. And in Dream Team, I thankfully have something worth boasting about. But we'll leave the bedroom for our other late night show, which only goes out to those over the age of 18. So let's moving right along to the Cowboys. Banksy, who have we got at the Cowboys, mate? Who's a bit of a cashy?
Well, there's nobody really there that is a cash cow potential, because the only one that really had any value was Tarek Sims. He's only made 58K and he's sitting at a grand total of $218,000 at the moment.
Okay. And look, if you jumped on Tarek earlier, I held him from the beginning of the season, like about 16-17% of the folks who played Dream Team did. Obviously, it's good to see him scoring some points with a 38 last week, a 40-odd, I think it was 47 the week before. Just a quick one on a throw at you, Banksy. There's a former gun who has plummeted in price. He's starting to show that maybe there's still a little bit of ammunition left in his cannon, so to speak. Matty Bowen, what are your thoughts there, mate?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Gavin Cooper, the guy we both had on our team to start the season and traded him out. Okay, we'll go Bowen instead.
Banksy, Gavin Cooper is dead to me.
Not yet to me. He scored 42 last week.
I don't.
And he's starting this week.
I don't want to know, mate. Bowen, let's deal with Bowen.
Okay. Let's go Bowen.
I'll put a nice little marble tombstone up that read, "Here lies a bloke with fleas." Butters, I'm not paying you for that one.
All right, so we go back to Bowen. Stupid 4-5-letter B names. It's just like Banks. All right, Bowen. No, I'm not convincingly sold on him yet. Now, he's an attacking player that scores his points through attacking stats. He has very inconsistent kick meters. He's having very consistent run meters of well below average from last season. He's only averaging about 5 to 6 run meters points per game this year. His kick meters is roughly the same, but that comes in 1s or 2s or 12s or 10s. His offloads very few and far between. He's had 3 in the last 3 weeks. His tackling's basically what you think it is for a fullback. He does about 3 each game. His tackle busts aren't there because he's not running the ball. He's got a few here and there. He's still assisting in those tries. He scored 1 try a few weeks ago. I'm not convincingly sold on him yet.
Okay. Yes. What would it take? I mean, in your esteemed opinion, obviously you would rather let him bottom out and then grab him on the first leap back up. What is it for you that's going to signal that Matty Bowen's back?
What signals that he's back? That his run meters return back up to over 100 points for his meters run, and he starts busting a few more tackles, and he starts scoring a few more line breaks and a few more try assists, and also if the Cowboys re-sign him too.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Let's move on. We've got West Tigers versus the Cronulla Sharks. Your favourite boys and girls over there. Boys mainly, of course, being that... no, I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to get in trouble. West Tigers, cash cow gone from bench to starting in the number 10 jersey. Suiaso Sue. Everybody's jumped on him, and it looks like they're going to be rewarded with a starting spot for him.
Yeah, he's been a pretty good points per minute player coming from the bench in the last 3 weeks for the Tigers. So he's boasted out another cash cow from earlier in the season, which a lot of people are now going to probably jump off after last week's effort, Jack Buchanan.
Yeah, so you reckon time to axe old Buchanan then?
I think if it's not in your mind, then get it in your mind, think very seriously about it, and if you don't trade him up this week, then God have mercy on your soul. Your team must be in absolute tatters if he's surviving the drop this week.
Fair enough. Now, what about Tim Simona, mate? Do we know anything about him? I mean, obviously, look, he's in the centres there for the Tigers, which is good for Bodine Thompson owners, by the way. Thompson named at 17. He's out of the centres, going back to that second row rotation. Eddie Pettyborn in at 13. But Tim Simona.
Tim Simona, like I said last week on my show, he's played a few games here and there for the Tigers. He played off the bench last week and amassed an amazing score of 3 points. I would expect a lot more from that if he plays the 80 minutes in the centres, which he probably won't, seeing that he's named. He's more of a very, very short-term option when Lawrence and Ashford comes back. He will be out, and as would Reddy, and he'll probably go back to the wing, or Reddy will drop out of the team completely, with Kara, BT and Utai holding onto those wing spots.
Yeah, and it's good to see them, of course, back from injury. All right, let's move over to your boys from the Shire. Mate, there's a name here that I heard it mentioned during commentary. I didn't realise he was going to be playing last week in round 8, but I heard it named, and I'd love to get your take on it. It's Sosaya Feki. Fecky. What can you tell me about this bloke, mate? He's obviously playing on the wing. Rookie.
He played his first game last week, I believe. So he's the first Sharks player to debut in almost 2 years, I think, at the Sharks, which is an amazing effort considering the amount of young, good talent we have at the club, which I hope we get to see very, very shortly in Sharks colours and not in Tigers colours, not in Dragons colours, not anybody else's colours. I want them debuting for the Sharks and staying at the Sharks.
And I'm kind of getting the impression that one of the names there that's not named as yet, it hasn't seen light in the team list, would happen to be Tyrone Peachy.
Yes, the man has scored 11 tries from a lock. 11 tries in the New South Wales Cup this year. He's played in the undefeated Sharks New South Wales Cup. We do have some Storm players in there too, but it is majority Sharks players.
Yeah, that's impressive. And you know, being the son of the great David Peachy, one of the greatest players to ever don cousin of David Peachy, one of the greatest players to don the blue, black and white. We know he's got to be good. I mean, you just look at Greg Inglis's cousins. You know, you're talking Albert Kelly, you're talking Preston Campbell. You know, mate, footy runs in families, doesn't it?
It does. Just look at the Burgess brothers.
Yeah, well, enough said there, that's for sure.
Look at the Surinams.
Yeah, absolutely. And Curtis Sirinen named at 7 for the Tigers as well there, folks, just letting you know. James Tedesco in the fullback position. Now, back to the Sharks just quickly. Everybody's favourite cash cow, Sam Tagatese, named at 15. So he's going to get a few minutes.
I would assume he would get quite a few minutes. But he'll probably get like 35, 30-ish minutes like he normally does coming off the bench with no injury. So don't expect him to score like he did last week every week with an injury to Paul Gunn in the early minutes. But it's also good to see we're not risking him this week and we're letting him rest up.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of which, there is no Paul Gallen named in the side. Obviously, that could change, so make sure you check team lists closer to kickoff. Moving right along, trying to keep in with our speed demon reading cash cows team list action tonight, or today, depending on when you're listening. And if you're new to the show, welcome. Warriors Bulldogs. Now, the Warriors, look, Conrad the Hurricane Hirrell back. Obviously not a cash cow, but that's a great one to see back. Also, Glenn Fisiahi named at number 1. And we all know the Flying Fish is quite capable of pumping out some good scores and a try-scoring machine. But the interesting one that I want to draw attention to and get your take on, Banksy, is named as 18th man is Carlos Tuamavave. Now, he has huge raps on him as a youngster. But he plays in the halves. What's he doing named at 18th man? Is Sean Johnson injured? Is
No,
Thomas
I believe
struggling? I mean, what's going on there?
I believe Carlos Tumavave last year played fullback for the last few games of the season, so he might be there as a fullback option if Glenn Fisiahi is not selected or has to go play on the wing if Mane Vadavai somehow needs another gold tooth put in.
Or Bill Tupou, who I believe he also pulled up a little bit sore, if I remember.
He's been
correctly.
their best. He might have done. He's just here for that fullback and wing cover with Fisiahi maybe moving. So I don't expect him to play. But if he does, he might play for Gorone as well. So just watch out for that.
Fair enough. And obviously, until he makes his way into the starting 13 and is playing 80 minutes at either that half or fullback position, probably not a great one to jump on, but certainly one to watch and be ready to pounce if he does start getting those 80 minutes consistently.
He's already priced at 163k and it's half only.
Okay, fair enough. And we've got plenty of other options to consider in the halves, like one of the number 7 for the Bulldogs, who is going to be facing off against the Warriors, Trent Hodkinson. Now, Banksy, have we missed the boat? He's had his first pay rise. He's gone up to 170 odd K. Is there still value in old Hodkie?
He's not that old. He's about 23.
Potato, mate. I'm here for the flavour and the colour. You're here for the stats
Fish
now.
and chips. Not fish and chips, it's fish and chips. Alright, but back to Hodkinson. There is still definitely value there on him. If there might not be as much price value there, but there is going to be buy value. He plays every single big buy run, just like every single non-Origin Bulldogs player does. So if you still got Miller bumping around in your team and you want to get rid of him and you got a pesky 32k, I think it requires, then you can go grab him. And please grab him, because I believe Miller's going to the Super League very, very shortly.
Yeah, look, the word I'm hearing as well is that he's leaving the Tigers, and they are going to be releasing him. So Miller's one to get rid of. Okay, so Trent Hodkinson's one to still jump on. Look, talking about cash cows up over the 200 grand mark, Benny Barber, is he going to come right soon?
I beep and hope so.
I love the self-censoring there. You don't want to let me go back in and go nuts with the beeping tone again, huh?
I just want to keep it easy for you so we can get these out quicker.
Oh, fair enough. That's why we're under pressure for time. All right, Marty Taupau, Tim Brown named at 20th and 21st man. The bench reads Dean Hellertail, Josh Jackson, James Graham, and Dale Finucane, or Finucane. No other real major changes. Obviously, Sam Cassiano in his customary number 10, Aidan Tolman in the 8. So, look, it's back to the grand final forward pack for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it is, and you'll be getting back to the grand final centre pairing too next week with Inu back from his. I'm going to tip up not George Burgess. I'm going to tip up Greg Inglis on his head and get 5 weeks for it next week.
Look, if anybody managed to tip George Burgess on his head, I reckon that they'd be sewing a Superman S into the bloke's chest rather than suspending him, because I honestly don't see anybody being able to put George Burgess on his head.
What time in the podcast is this? I want to take this down, because when George Burgess gets dump tackled or dump truck tackled or whatever you want to call it, spear tackled on in a few weeks' time, I want him to eat his words.
Mate, you're going to have to listen to the podcast later and pick it up in minutes, because I don't have the minutes in front of me. We're not that high-tech over here, mate.
I no wonder we go for an hour long. You don't even know how long we've been going for.
Well, that's exactly it, mate. What I have is I've got you on loudspeaker, and I've got a carrier pigeon and a secretary sitting here just taking shorthand notes. She straps it to the carrier pigeon and flies it over to you, and you know, over to the Google offices in New Zealand there, and they enter in all the zeros and ones up onto the internet, so you think that it's all high tech. Why do you think it takes a few hours and, you know, to upload everything at the end of the show, mate?
Takes about a day.
Yeah, this is my point. Mate, it's a long flight from Brisbane to Auckland via carrier pigeon, I'm telling you.
And then Auckland to Christchurch.
Well, mate, you're lucky you get it in a day. Quit your whinging. Jesus Christ. All right, let's move on. Eels versus Broncos. Look, Ryan Morgan back named in the number 3. Jacob Loco named at number 4, which a lot of people are going to be very, very happy about. Tim Manor named in the number 10. Kalipi Tanganoa named at 12. He's starting. Geez, he's having a great bust-out season for his rookie year. Penny Turipo named at number 13 with a bench of Kesar Pritchard, Darcy Lussick, Joseph Paulo, Mitch Allgood, and 18th man is Api Perifangorangi, or, yeah, I'm a white boy trying to pronounce that name. I've got no hope. I apologise, Api.
Perifarangi.
Perifarangi, there we go. I mean no disrespect, I
think.
My white boy tongue is just not capable of yeah, putting those sort of vowels and consonants together. That's disturbing.
All right, cash cow potential.
There's got to be a fair bit here. Look, I mean, Kalipi, Penny, Kesar.
That's about it, actually.
Well, give me your thoughts on him, Banksy. I mean, I'm
Tanganoa, I think Tanganoa has about maxed out. He'll roughly sit about his 200k price tag. But if you got him in, you probably got him in as a cash out buy cover option. So you're sitting all right at the moment with him. Penny Taripo, somebody that got entered into the system last weekend, I believe, made his debut. Actually started at lock last week as well. Scored an impressive 31 points. I personally am looking to bring him in as a cash-out option for Jack Buchanan via a rotation with Ryan James. Kesar Pritchard is also another potential cow. I am not too sure what he scored 13 points, so...
Yeah, look, he's in a hooking rotation with Matt Keating. So I think it's more a case of blooding a young bloke there.
Yeah, I think it's more of a... He's going to steal Keating's minutes more than produce his own brilliance.
Yeah.
And hurt Keating's chances.
Yep, absolutely there. Excellent. All right, let's move across to... Oh, by the way, Penny Taripo, he's definitely one to watch. He's one I'm... You know, you mentioned his name, it sort of pricked my ears up, and he's a cash-out option down the line, actually. I'm going to keep an eye on him and see how he goes this week and what his situation is next week. Moving on to their opponents this week, Broncos. Jordan Kahu has moved Lachlan Maranta from his wing position, so with the return of Justin Hodges, Jordan Kahu keeps his spot and moves to the wing, which is fantastic for all you Kahu owners out there. He's great for the buys, obviously. Any other cash cows that we should be looking at in the Bronx, mate?
Nothing that's popping up just yet. Just keep an eye on Josh Maguire and David Stagg to see if they do play. If they do play, they are both due big drops this week due to injuries in the last few games and having some low scores sitting around. So they are definitely going to be good ones to watch in about 2 to 3 weeks just before buys and just as your last-minute buy grabs to have some good point scorers over them with probably Hannett, Thaiday, Gillette, Parker all missing due to Origin.
Yeah, look, and Parker's performances, I think he's definitely stamping out his chances of, you know, picking up an Origin spot. You know, he's really sort of gunning quite well there, isn't he? Hello, Banksy.
Feed me more.
I was talking about Parker going to Origin there, my friend.
Yeah, he'll be there in my opinion, and other people say he won't be. You just can't not pick him. He's an Origin player.
He's an Origin player, tackle machine. I mean, that's exactly right, mate. Number 17 for the Broncos, Jared Wallace, 132k front row forward. Thoughts?
Thoughts on him? Could be a potential one to jump on if you're looking for a cash out option, and you want a Broncos front row forward as buy cover that will probably play over those buy rounds, but just maybe better options here for his price.
Fair enough, fair enough. And of course, with that second row forward option, a penny to repo there, the young Broncos guys coming through don't get a lot of minutes and a lot of points early. They sort of have to start building up to it. All right, moving on. Raiders
definitely do. They got.
Sorry, I do this to you all the time.
I was going to say nothing.
All right, fair enough. So you're just talking smack? Sweet.
Yep.
All right, Raiders versus Knights. Jack Whiten in at the 3. Geez, he had a good game last week with his 61. Terry Campese, captain, named at number 6 again. Geez, they look a different side, the Raiders, with Terry Campese at the number 6, don't they?
They definitely do. And if any team can go knock off a team like the Storm in Melbourne, let's say that Raiders team, they look different, completely different.
Yeah.
3 years in a row they've done it now.
They did, and also there's the young rookie who's sort of coming up. I believe he's coming up for his 3rd game this week. Paul Vaughan.
A few of them. Pun?
Paul Vaughan.
Paul Vaughan, yep, he's coming up for his 3rd game. Milford's coming up for his 3rd game, and Joe Picaturbo is also up for his 3rd game.
Interesting. Let's have a look at Picker. Oh, I'm sure I've heard that name mentioned. No, he's already had a price change, mate. He's jumped up and down. He's down.
He's had 2 actually.
22. Yeah. So he's had a couple there, but Paul Vaughan, his break even's 3. He's averaged 20 the last couple of games, an 18 and a 22. So you can at least rely on him for consistency. Price at 116,000. The big drawback, of course, to Paul Vaughan, as with any of the green machine, is the buys are not really favourable if you're looking at cashing out for a buy player.
Also, there'll be some more players coming back as well. Tom Leroy Lars would have to come back, and you would expect that Vaughan will drop. Actually, Jake Foster was one I was thinking of as the other player, not... Yeah, Foster.
Yep. And he's named at the 15.
Who was a former dog.
Yeah. He's been playing all right too.
But you've also got the party coming back as well.
Good point, and that's who Foster's in for. So there's a few sort of options there, but also a fair bit of risk. Moving on to the Knights, having a look here. Corbin Sims named 18th man, Neville Koskian named at 15. It's a cut and paste of last week's list.
No, it's not.
Oh, hang on. What have I missed?
No, Mullen.
There is no Jared Mullen. Tyrone Roberts at the 7, Kurt Gidley at the 6. Good pickup. Travis Waddell starting in the 9. Matt Hilda is coming off the bench in the 14. I know Benny Schneider will be very happy about that. He loves Matty Hilda. Thinks he's one of the best utility players going around.
I still remember that day he actually smashed his ankle in a compound fracture against the Sharks. God, that was horrible.
Yeah.
That was like 4 years ago, I think.
Compound fractures are never good. But Corbin Sims, the only real cashy there, and I think we've already sort of covered Corbin on a couple of different occasions, actually.
He's not done too much.
Yeah, look, but I mean, that's Wayne Bennett's modus operandi. He bloods the young guys with minimal minutes,
But you've also got not David Stagg. You've also got Bo Scott coming back into the team from injury. Don't know how long he's going to stay out for. And there's also Jeremy Smith to come back in a few weeks from a suspension for his head slam.
Yeah, well, wasn't that a bit of a joke? In fact, I think that's got to be up there running with the Asada investigation for the greatest joke of the NRL 2013 season. But anyway, let's move on before either of us get sued for bagging on baggers.
Yep.
Titans v Dragons. Titans almost back to full strength. Mark Minicello starting again in the 12. The only players they're missing are Ash Harrison, still out due to injury. Ben Ridge is named at 16, but Mark Ione is the 18th man. Just in case Ridgie doesn't pull up as well as he possibly could, Luke Bailey is named at the 8. And Ryan James in at 15. I'm trying to remember who Luke Bailey's replacing, and this is terrible because I'm a Titans fan. Do you remember who
It's
Luke Bailey?
Harrison. It's Harrison because Miles has gone to lock.
Yeah, Miles has gone to lock, so it's Ash Harrison. That's right. Yeah. Oh, and they've just done a bit of a reshuffle. So all good there. Dragons. I'm not picking up too many changes from the side from last week. Are you?
I think it's the same 17 that started last night for us on Friday night. Monday night.
It is. They just haven't named the extended bench, which is a nice change. Look, we've covered the cash cows in the Dragon side before with Stockwell and that sort of thing. Is it time to get off Stockwell?
No.
There we go. Short and sweet from the Bankster. Anybody else
Banksy.
jump out at Banksy. Anybody else that jumps out at you, mate, that you want to get on?
Brett Morris in about 4 weeks' time.
Brett Morris in about 4 weeks' time. I love it. I love it. Yeah, his injury last night was not favourable to his Dream Team scores, but for us coaches who don't have him, it was very favourable to the price.
He actually got injured, did he?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I was asleep during that game.
There we go. Absolute dedication here, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dream Team podcast show. We just go the extra mile, including.
I thought he just played absolutely shit.
No, he got injured pretty early on. Actually, he was going for a try and got absolutely monstered over the sideline by a couple of Manly players, and he fell awkwardly in the tackle. It was quite a bit of a scare on his knee and things like that. So yeah, good to
Obviously
see him.
not too much.
Well,
but it's copy-paste. It's Steve Price.
Yeah, wait for Teamless next week. Moving on, Panthers v Storm. Matt Moylan gets his third game. Lewis Brown still at the 3. Dean Farre comes in at the 4. Isaac John named at 6 after Tom Humble got injured. So the Panthers are down to their absolute last choice half. With who have we got? We've got Coote, Austin. Who else is on the sidelines? Humble. So Isaac John is the last line of defence, and we wish him all the best. Of course, it's an NRL berth; it's nothing to scoff at. He's come back from Super League. Matt Robinson back in the 12. Good to see. Nathan Smith named 18th man, the cash cow that never was. Number 15 is the interesting one, Sam Anderson. He did all right. Played one game already, didn't he? He did all right this weekend?
No, he hasn't played a game.
He hasn't played.
He's looking for his debut, NRL debut. He's a former Knights player that won the Under-20s Player of the Year in 2011. He played, I think he was signed up for the Knights last year, but he had a few injuries last year, which limited his game time, and he signed with the Panthers on a one-year deal. So he'll be looking to impress the coach Cleary and Ivan Gould, Phil Gould, with his appearances this year. Yeah,
absolutely. And look, he was not just the Knights Under-20s Player of the Year. He was New South Wales Cup Underplayer, not New South Wales Cup. The name of the competition.
Was he the New South Wales Under-20s Player?
That's the one I'm thinking of. New South Wales Under-20s Player of the Year. Okay, so moving on to the Storm. Look, there's no real cashies here except for maybe Kenneth Bromwich named as 20th man, Laggy Setu named 19th man, Slade Griffin named 18th man, which when they're named at 18, 19 and 20, it's very hard to call them a cashie because you're unlikely to see him get a run.
Yeah, the Storm had some quite late changes last week with the team sheet, bringing in Morris Blair and Brett Finch in late, I think. So they could do the same again this week.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. So once again, keep watching those team lists just before the game. And as we move on to our final game of the round, Seagulls versus the Roosters. Brett Stewart named it number 1 for the Seagulls, but just be aware he did not return for the second half against the Dragons with a leg injury of some description.
I heard...
or back injury on that one.
No, it's knee, I think.
There we go.
I think it's something to do with his knee and hip.
Yeah,
I heard he's out for 4 weeks.
Ooh, so keep an eye on that one and keep an eye on your news.
My guess, if I can guess what would happen, Jorge Tafua will go to fullback and Peter Hiku will come onto the wing.
Don't forget SC Tonga named at 20 and he went to the wing with going to fullback position.
No, they'll play Jorge there.
Fair enough.
They're not stupid.
No, fair enough. What I'm saying is Jorge went back to fullback with Essie Tonga on
Yeah.
the wing. Is what.
Yeah, that's because they had to.
Yeah. No, fair enough. And of course, Brenton Lawrence named to start. My man crush, the hero, BJ Lawrence, 71 as a front row forward. The only man who pumped out better was Andrew Fafita, but we know Andrew Fafita's a freak. So, and Brenton Lawrence is just a normal, fit bloke to do that. He just pumped it out and really had a huge game. Mad props to him. Much love. Jamie Buhrer likely to drop off the bench. My words coming out of Manly. Let me just quickly go to the...
Is he still in his moon boot?
Look up, yeah. Okay, here's the word. Jamie Buhrer could be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Extended bench has been named. And David Gower has a hamstring problem. So, there you go. Expect Jamie Buhrer to drop off the bench there.
You could see Chicam.
You could. No, Chicam's in a moon boot as well. Chicam's not going to get time this season. He's done his ankle. He's gone for 5 to 6 weeks. So yeah. Unfortunately, but that's cookie crumbles sometimes. We move on to the Roosters now. Sam Moa out injured for the Roosters, which brings Martin Kennedy into the starting side off the bench. Mitchell Orbison, of course, starting in that number 11 jersey. Ha 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 ha.
Start of the last 2 weeks, boy.
I know he has. We've put the mockers on him, and they're just doing it to spite us now, I reckon. It's all about spiting Jay and Banksy. That's what it's about.
No. It's Jay and Gareth. That city always comes off the...
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Frank Paul
Banksy, nothing to do with it.
Named at 15 to come off the bench. Aiden Gurr.
Off the banks.
Mate, it's Freudian. You're always on my mind, Banksy. Always, mate.
I know. It's my long hair on my chin.
Yeah, no. Luke O'Donnell named 17th man. And that's the team list. And I'll look at a few of the cash cows who have been named this week. Banksy, should we move on to Eliminator chat?
I believe we should do.
Let's keep it quick because we got through those, I reckon, in record time. I'm not even watching the clock. That was your job. But anyway.
I think it's about 35 minutes.
Oh, mate, record time. So, what do we...
I'll read you what the
for the Eliminator.
Well, what I'll do to start with is read through how the Eliminator works. This is the file sheet that we get that's promoted on the when you click the Eliminator tab. Each eligible entry will receive a ranking based on their team's score at the completion of round 10. So in other words, you want to be as high as possible after round 10. Each team in the top 32,768 entries will be matched up against another team in the next slot of that number entries based on their rankings. Now, from history, I believe these are completely random, so one does not play 65,400, whatever it will be. It could be 5 plays 40,000. It's random. And then in round 11, these teams will play head-to-head matches against each other, winner with the most points going forward. If it's a draw, I believe it goes on overall rankings, so you want to be as high as you can again. And the process is repeated each week until all teams are eliminated and you're down to one eventual winner. Oh, and I've actually just read the tiebreaker is who registered first.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
So it's not overall score, it's who registered first, which I think is your ID number in your URL if you know what that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the smaller that number, the better.
Now, okay, interestingly. Round 11 is when it all starts. Most teams are going to be primed. They'll be prepped for the buys, or at least, you know, if they're head-to-head, they'll be going into this absolutely domineering and you know, ready to roll. So let's say you win your round 11. If you're a half serious DT, you should win your round 11 matchup.
You should do.
Now, unless you get a really horrible draw, in which case we empathise with you.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Come round 12, you see the greatest rate of attrition of seasoned DT players in that Eliminator competition. more seasoned DT players, both overall and head-to-head, drop out in round 12 than in any other round, or sorry, in that first bye round. Why is that?
Luck. But you can be good planning. Good planning helps avoid that.
Yeah.
My overall team last year was start with good guys, good scoring guys, and it still went out round 12, that first big bye run. I just got unlucky as shit.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, how do you avoid this? Like, if you're in it to win it, if you're in it to win this Eliminator, how do you avoid that?
Well, if you're in it to win it, then you already know how the Eliminator works. You already know the rough essence of the Eliminator team. You want to get as much cash as you can, as early as you can, then get all the guns, then trade the guns around so you have the best 17 players available for each big buy round to get you through those ones. And then you want your good scorers coming out of your buys, and you want to have decent depth and a few trades up your sleeve as well. Then you can try and push for the Eliminator prize.
Now, what is the Eliminator prize this year, actually, Banksy?
I am looking that up right now.
All right, excellent.
It is $1,000 cash and 4 NRL Category 1 Grand Final tickets.
Ooh. Which you
not to be scoffed at.
One of those for about $2,000 at $500.
You would go.
Oh yeah, if they were paying my airfares.
That's $1,000 cash for.
But mate, I'm in Brisbane. They don't hold an NRL Grand Final up here, even when it's 2 Queensland teams in it.
You just what you call it, your thing. You drive it down. You go on the train. That's cheaper than flying down.
Drive it down, Banksy. Did you not see what happened to my car today?
No, I said drive in a train. Go down in a train. That's what I said. A train, not your car. Your car's wrecked.
Tell me about it. They took it away on a bloody tow truck today. Mate, it's a cruel world, I tell you. At least I'm not at fault. Insurance pays for everything. You're just trying to take digs at the fact that my car got wrecked today. That's all it is. You're just taking a shot, Banksy.
Yeah.
You're picking on me, man.
I know.
It's just you're a meanie. That's all it is, man. You're just a
I'm just looking at the prize winners from the first 6 rounds. No New Zealander has won it. What's happening?
No, Kiwis have only been eligible.
Have won any prize?
Yeah, they've only been eligible from this year onwards.
Yeah, but we always used to be able to wait.
You mean the weekly prize? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
a bit odd.
Mate, maybe they're just not bringing the heat this year, mate.
Aren't the Warriors still the highest ranked overall supported club?
Oh, who even looks at that?
Warriors fans do, because it's the only thing they're winning. Oh, yeah.
Great call from the Banks. Hey, I got one there for the Eels fans out there too. Income tax. It's like the Parramatta Eels losing, because you know it's going to get taken out of your pay every week.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
all right, back to Eliminator talk.
Hang on. Let me.
Yeah, no, did you? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I might edit some echoes in there.
Yeah, I think I'll cut and redo that. No, it's the Parramatta the Parramatta Eels and income tax being taken out of your pay every week. Oh no, I can't. No, I'm giving up.
No, you just quiet. Leave it alone.
Yeah, not touching it.
All right, back to the Eliminator talk. I really don't go for this. I don't really aim for the Eliminator, so I haven't really studied up on it too much. I know you have to get some luck to get through those early bye rounds, because you could come up against like a all Bulldogs team in that first bye round, and they might gun it and beat you. It's just, I hate it because it's just a bit of fluke.
Yeah.
But once you get through those bye rounds with good planning and good luck, it becomes way better and becomes very competitive if you keep alive. I've known a few people that have gone very well deep into it last year, and they were on the edge of their seat every single week, trying to work out who they're playing next week and trying to work out what their team is like and trying to get the best team that's better than them.
Yeah, absolutely. No, like and it's entertaining too. The flip side of it is, I guess in a lot of ways, it's like that head-to-head competition. You know, we going up against someone and you're following it game in, game out, and you know, it's been well mentioned on the show that I'm an overall player this year, and I'm still in with a shot at getting that overall, or at least ranking high in the overall. But I still check out my head-to-head games. You know, I may not be trading with head-to-head in mind. I may not, you know, be focused on winning them and that sort of thing. But when that round starts and that lockout happens, you bet your bottom dollar I'm checking out where my head-to-head scores are at, and if I'm going to get bragging rights over, you know, one of my mates.
Yeah, it's always one of those things you like doing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's actually a couple of leagues that I'm in that have real-world trophies up for grabs for the winner of it, and I happen to be sitting second and first in both of those leagues, so I'm enjoying that right now.
Oh, I'm just looking at my head-to-head trophy. It's beautiful, it is. And they go around and turn to the other side and see who's won it the last 4 years. Myself. 4 years, champion. Love it.
Mate, you know that going out and buying the trophy and paying for it to be engraved with your name and all that on it, that doesn't actually count as winning it, right?
Yes, it does. I actually bought a $2 shop trophy, and then I stuck some of those stickers you stick on your kids' school books to write their names on the front to label the trophy, and on the back to say the names.
I honestly think you need to photograph that and whack it up on Mentors for us to have a gander at and have a giggle about.
I shall take a photo right now for you.
Love your work. Love your work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, I think we're going to wrap up the show there tonight, and today and this morning and whenever you're listening. Once again, thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully we haven't been rabbiting on long enough to make your ears bleed this week, you know, just for a change, something new, something different. Thanks for joining us. Well done this week to everybody who competed, and condolences to those who sort of struggled a little bit. But look, I'm sure there's going to be a week that it's your week where everyone else struggles and you dominate. So well done, guys. Well done, Mentors. Well done to all the leagues. And mad props all round. Banksy, thanks again for joining me once again, my friend.
No worries.
Catch you next time. May your DT scores be huge and the drinks be cold.